trees, your yellow leaves move me. Dancing moves your painted red shakes the room. When I get there, I'll let my feet roll. When I get there, I'll break in your arms, I'll lose control. When I get there, I'll know the answer. Let me know when I get closer.
Hey everybody, this is Overpass Live. My name is Eric and I make apps. This is a weekly live stream where we just hang out and talk about whatever we want to talk about. And it's been for me, it's been a busy week. This week is when I finally sat down and thought, I've done all my stuff in Flutter. A lot of the past few projects have been done in Flutter. And admin sites have been done in Angular, which I hate Angular. I used to love Angular. Angular 1, I loved it. But now I'm like, every time I have to use Angular 2, it's like I have to learn you have to go to school or something because it's so complicated. So finally started learning Flutter Web this week, and I'm really enjoying using that. It's kind of nice to use that one technology in all those kind of places. And overall, it's been a good week. Just working, lots of different things, and I have a contract that I'm working at the moment and just getting lots of stuff done, but it's been cool. I've been trying to, if for those guys who've been followed who are on the Discord, you may have seen this, but we're trying to do TikTok videos, and I haven't done any myself. So that's what I've been doing this afternoon, is watching like tutorials on how to do TikTok videos. And it's one of those things where every time I look at it, I think, I don't know if this is me. Because for some reason, TikTok seems to think that all I want to watch is women with big booties. I guess maybe I stopped too long on one, whatever, but I thought, oh, that's what Overpass apps wants to watch. But anyway, I plan on putting out some TikToks here in the next few days. We've been putting some out, which is just like clips from the live streams, and we're putting them out as shorts, but we're going to try to do some stuff as actual TikToks as well to see how that goes. So I'll let you guys know how that goes next week. And it was my birthday this week. I turned 49. I turned 49 this week, so final lap before 50. But anyway, thanks for joining. Looks like Rachel's here. Rachel's already got a question. I forgot I've been redesigning these things. Rachel says, I've been asked to do a sleigh tracking app with a donate button for charity. I'm guessing it won't pass the Apple App Store's 1.3 kids category. I don't know if it would. These apps must not include links out of let's make this a little bit bigger here. Actually, you guys can hear me all right, right? We just want to make sure that I'm not so these apps must not include the links out of the app, purchasing opportunities, or other distractions to kids unless reserved for a designated area behind a parental gate. What is a parental gate, and have you ever designed one? I never have. I'd imagine it'd be something with parental controls, so like the parent's the one who actually logs into it. I guess they're trying to protect you from taking money from kids and being able to go into their parent's account or something like that. But I've never come across that situation. In fact, for me, every time it's something that's like, is your app directed at kids? It's like, no, even though sometimes it obviously is. I've had apps rejected from Play Store because I said, no, it's not meant for kids. And they're like, dude, there's a picture of Santa Claus on the icon. Like it was obviously very cartoony. We did a storybook for kids, and it was like, I didn't want to go through the whole COPPA and everything like that. So that's something I've kind of shied away from. But it seems like because it's charity, there's got to be some examples out there of some apps that are doing that, because that sounds like a really worthwhile cause. Rachel, if you're going to be doing it, you're like wiring it up everything yourself, then maybe you should look for some precedents first, because it seems like the kind of thing that there might be some, like some SDKs for, maybe like Just Giving or something like that as an SDK. I've never looked into it. I've never had anything to do with it. But if any other guys have, please let us know, or let us know. Like even if you're watching the replay later on, put it in the comments, because that would be really useful to know. I'm kind of curious about that one too myself. Let's see. Dinesh says, happy birthday, Eric. Thank you very much. I gotta make this a little bit bigger. Let's see. Thanks, Dinesh. Really appreciate it. Authentic Solutions. Hey, Eric, how's it going? It's going really well. Just doing, I got this really big project that I'm working on that's going to be kind of cool. It's for a client, but it's kind of like, I'm really excited to work on it. That's done in Xamarin, which is a lot of, it's kind of like I'm enjoying working on that. But there's some Flutter stuff that I'm doing too, which I'm really enjoying working with. And it's one of these things, I'm kind of like, at the moment, I'm in this kind of slow down mode where I'm enjoying just sitting down, taking on a few projects here and there, and just sort of working on them myself. Setting aside some time to say, okay, I'm gonna spend Saturday afternoon working on this app, or I'm gonna spend whatever, Mondays and Fridays are the days that I have open, so I'll work on that, or work on them in the evenings or something like that. And I'm kind of enjoying that, but it's like not a scalable solution. Seems like a year ago, 2 years ago, it was like I had all these projects going, all these developers working on it, and I wasn't doing a whole lot of coding myself. I was doing a lot of the management, and it was just like, the stress got to me. So I'm kind of enjoying this slowdown a little bit, but there's still that voice in the back of my head that says, Eric, you got to get off your ass and take on some more clients. So in fact, I did sign a job the other day, which was like taking, it was one of these ones where I was like, it was one of these ones where another developer had done it. Like it's basically an iPhone and an Android app. I'm not going to tell you what the app is, but like other development companies worked on it and they want to get like a bunch of bug fixes. So they come to me and they say, can you work on these? I'm like, I told them it's going to cost you more for me to do them because I have to become familiar with the code, right? And they're like, yeah, but they were so fed up with the previous development companies apparently that they just wanted, us to work on them, which is kind of flattering, but it's like, if any of you guys have ever taken on a project like that, I was like one of these things where like I was kind of like, I don't really know if I want to do this. And it's, if you've ever taken on a project where you take on an existing code, they might say, okay, we just need A, B, and C done. And you're okay, just A, B, and C. That should take this long, but this amount of time to actually like learn the code and everything like that. But then you also, once you take ownership of it, any bug, it kind of becomes your thing. And it's really hard. I've had situations where I've had to go back to a client and say, that bug existed in the previous version. And they're like, no, we're pretty sure it didn't. I'm like, well, I can load it up. I have the old source code. I can load it up and that bug is still there. And then it becomes, my word versus theirs because they have their memory and I have Git history. Like I could prove it, but they're just, I had one client a few years ago, which was not a very good relationship in the end. And it had something, it was like, they thought I was like trying to trick them in the fact that I put a bug in the code. I was like, no, that was already there. I didn't even touch that functionality. Like nothing in there. It wasn't me, it was my developers, but so that could be really, really tough. So, and why am I sounding like, just went over that, right? Rachel said, happy birthday for last week. Thank you very much. Kevin, good evening. Let's see. Rachel said, how many similar apps can one account have on Apple before it considers it as spam? I'm looking to have one for the same company at multiple locations. This is the one I have, for me, I had the 4.3 guidelines kick in for Apple, but I had like 100. I had loads of them and Apple just went, no. I have a client now that we've got like 3 or 4 like variations on the same similar application. And every single time I put it, like every time I release it, I'm like, I don't know what the limit is. I'm like, is it going to be 6? Is it going to be like 10? So I think it's not like, they don't catch you on like the second or the third one. It's like quite a few. But I've also had, I've had like consultancies where people like could go through the website and it was like, Eric, Apple's rejecting everything we're doing. What can we do about it? And it was a similar kind of thing where they were basically a company that provided a service and they had an app and they were releasing all their clients' apps on their own account, which is way easier, but that's kind of what got them in trouble. And then it was kind of like, basically they didn't quite understand what Apple was trying to say, but it was like Apple was saying all these apps are the same. You need to combine them into one application, and that didn't work for the branding of the different companies. So my whole thing was, it's a pain where you have to say, okay, I need you to set up I need you to set your Apple developer account, right? Here's a link to do that. I need you to set up a Google Play developer account. Here's a link to do that. And then also one of the things I need to do, because this never used to be an issue, is I had to say, get get the corporate one, because otherwise you don't have access to the developer certificates. And I know a lot of you guys have experienced that too. So that makes it really difficult, where you're like, I have 2 clients like that right now, where I have to like say every time I need to like regenerate a new certificate, I have to say, okay, I need to log in as you. Can you give me your username and your password? And then they give it to you, and then you log in as them, which is like definitely, that's the whole reason we have multiple, like it's like it goes against everything else you do. Like, and you can't convince a client like, here's how you generate a developer certificate, or like, it's so difficult to do. So I have to log in as them, and then because they have dual factor authentication, I need to make sure they're nearby, so I can say, okay, you should get a code on your phone, send me what that code is. And sometimes it'll be like an hour later, they go, here's the code, and I'll be like, okay, that's expired, let's do that again. And it's just a pain. So like, so that's part of the whole process, is like getting all those clients to do it, and all because I don't know what that limit is. I have one application. No, I have 2 applications on my App Store account, which are for other clients. And one of them is just out there on the App Store. It's just, like anybody could download it, whatever. It's not doesn't have any sensitive data or anything like, so they didn't mind that. Another one is like doing the volume purchase program. What used to be called the volume purchase program, now it's called the Apple Business something. So they basically rebranded the volume purchase program, but basically it means I control the app on the App Store, but they are allowed to see it, and they had to set up a whole bunch of stuff on their side. Again, it gets really difficult when you do that kind of stuff, but I don't know what that limit is though. Because that makes total sense to have one for like multiple locations. To me, I tell the client that going in, like, I don't know if they're going to raise against it, like, and it gets that tricky area, because like, can you really charge them if it gets rejected? And you have to make them understand is like this, either we need to rethink if you want to have it in this way, we have to rethink how we're going to do it, and it doesn't quite make sense, or we have to be a bit more clever about it and set up multiple Apple accounts under different people's names and have that go, all those kind of stuff. So so will Apple allow this on one account, or does each brand need their own account? Each branch, I think because you're talking about branches, that's another thing where if you're talking about branches of the same company, I think they would each have to have their own account. Because eventually you're going to run into like that issue where they're going to start saying, hey, these applications are all the same, but you might have a little bit of wiggle room before they do. But that's a difficult conversation to have with a client too, to say, okay, because you're like, basically you're going to, it makes it sound like you don't know what you're talking about when you're like, okay, the reviewer could be kind of a dick, or it could be like kind of cool, but like, we're going to basically do all this coding and then we're going to find out on the day. It's like, no, it's probably safe to just say, okay, set up those other accounts and everything like that. If that makes sense. JRG App says, hey, Eric, did you receive your Admob payment from last month? Mine is taking longer than usual. The only change I have is updating my U.S. tax info because I had to. I did. That's a good question. I assume I did. Hang on, let me check. Let me just check real quick. I'm not going to show you guys my bank statement or anything, but let me just, because I had the same thing. I still have the U.S. tax thing. It's like, whatever you're giving us, it's not right. And they're saying, it's a pain. I got that. And I don't know if it's because I'm American and I have a UK company and I'm not exactly sure what it is they're asking me. Because, let me just see. So, yes, I did get it. I did get that, and I got my in-app purchases. So yeah, I did get it for July, and it came on time. Mine went in on the 23rd of July, and I don't know if we all have it coming on the same time or whatever, but yes. So mine did come in, but I've had the same. I did get an email saying they were going to charge me more tax because my tax information isn't there. So they were going to charge a higher rate of tax, which means I need to get on that. So, Dinesh says, "Hi Eric, I hope you're. I'd like to have your review on one of my apps that I wrote at last year's lockdown. It's got quite popular. Cool. Let us know the name of it. And you can't paste the link in the YouTube. You have to. If you could tell us a package name, that would probably work. Fish 007 is here. Hey, how's it going? How are you doing today? I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good. Hope you had a great weekend. I did. Birthday weekend. A lot of fun. I'd like to hear your thoughts about certifications like Microsoft certifications and Angular certifications. Do you think it's worth the hustle, or the hassle? Yeah, let me just turn. I've got this. Let me turn something off that's flashing on my screen. Yeah, so I have the Microsoft Certified Solution Developer back in the day, and I thought like to get my MCSD certification back in. I was in 1999. It was like my first, like I think I told you guys, I went into software development and I had no experience. So my degree was in history. I was like, and I got this trainee job and I was like, basically I was traveling 2 hours. I wore a suit that I got from a thrift store that cost me £8, which is about like $10, $12, something like that. And my army shoes, and I was able to get this job because everything else I had was like manual labor. I was working in a factory at the time, and somehow they liked me. So when I got into this job, and it still may have been a mistake. Like I always think, but they kind of thought kind of thought I might be able to learn it. So I was like, I would read on the train. Like I had 2 hour train trip in and a 2 hour train trip back. Into London, and that was on a good day. Like on some days it was like 2.5 hours. So there's signal failures and all kinds of stuff. But I would always I would get books from the library. I would get I would read everything that I could, and it was like after a while you just you learn loads, and then everyone comes to you for information because you're you become an expert on that latest thing. And most people just work on what they work on, so they're not following the latest trends and everything like that. Which is the great thing about software development. But I didn't have any qualifications or anything, so for me, getting the MCSD was like a huge thing at the time because I thought, that would give me some credibility. Like if I go to the next job, I can say, yes, I have these letters behind my name, Eric Wroolie, MCSD. That would be so awesome for me to have that, right? Not Eric Wroolie, I worked this one IT job. So to me, that was really I studied a lot for that test. There was 4 exams, I remember having a nightmare that someone stole my notes. Someone stole my notes and jumped over the back fence of my backyard, and I woke up shouting apparently. So it was I was under a lot of stress at the time. But your question is it worth the hassle? I think if you do not have a big portfolio, that it definitely will help you. To have some sort of certification, something to say, okay, because basically other than that, it's just, yeah, are you good at it? Yes, I'm good at it. But if you have a portfolio, if you have loads of experience, and you could say, I worked for this company, here's my references here, here's a whole bunch of apps that I've done, here's some code examples, all that kind of stuff. If you're going for a job, then you probably don't need those certifications, because I haven't done any others since then, right? Every time I see that, I think, well, it's I'm doing fine without it. But if you don't have anything else and you're just starting out, you might want to look into getting that certification, because you could say, okay, I've worked a few jobs or I have a few applications out here, but Angular recognizes me as a certified developer, right? How many other people have you interviewed that have that certification? How many people have been certified by Microsoft to be a competent developer? Not many, probably. So that puts you a step above the rest of them. But like I said, there's some people who have those MCSD certifications who are not that competent, but so I think it could do. If you don't have a lot of experience and if you're just breaking into it, yeah, I would look into that, as long as it's not too expensive. And stuff I took an online LinkedIn course. I don't think that really or I took some of these courses that you take online and they give you a certificate you can print out. That I'm not that impressed with. I just think if it was an official certification. How many of you guys out there, let me ask you guys, How many of you guys out there have an official like certification with something? Because mine was like, well, MCSD. Oh, okay, I've got MCSD from back in, like I said, 1999. Whoo, Eric, you're old. And I've got the Certified Scrum Master from like, I think it's 2008, I think. So, and both of those are like, yeah, I kind of just like let lapse. Let's see. JK Multi says, hello, are you back on the Play Store? Yes, JK Multi. So there's like a video that I have out there that's really popular where my Play Store account was terminated. And I appealed it and it got reinstated. But I'm like still always feel like I'm walking on eggshells. So yeah, it was like after I did that video, it was like 2 weeks later that it was reinstated. But that's because I appealed it. Like always appeal. Like always appeal. Like when people say, what, like I get this message a lot, which is like my Play Store account has been, or my app has been suspended. What do I do? My Play Store account has been suspended. What do I do? The answer is always you appeal it. You appeal it because sometimes it's an algorithm that kicks in. Like there's more of, it's not like there's a guy who's like, you know, going through and, you know, saying, oh, I think I'm just going to terminate this. And they're going, let's review this first and see whether or not we're going to do it. It doesn't go into a queue and then they assess it. No, it gets terminated immediately because they think that there's something fishy going on. Something triggered the algorithm to think this is out of the ordinary. Now, I've had it happen to my big app like several times, like over the course of the last several years. And when I was doing the videos every single day, and it was like my biggest app was suspended, right? It was suspended and I lost like loads of money. And it was like for weeks it was suspended. And then and I appealed it. So as soon as it was suspended, I appealed it. And then they denied the appeal. And then it was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna, and I just sulked and felt sorry for myself for like weeks. It's kind of embarrassing, but I just sulked and felt sorry for myself. And then I appealed it again. And then I appealed it 3 times and then they reinstated it. They said, okay, but you got to make these changes. Or I was like, and that was like, you know, so just keep appealing it, right? You're not going to lose anything if you appeal it. Now, if you've actually done something wrong, then maybe that's not going to happen. In terms of my entire account termination, what happened is I'd had that same app suspended again, and that time I was like, dude, this is whatever is happening, I'm just not going to bother. But then I had another one. So I had the third one it was right after the coronavirus was happening, right at the beginning, and they basically said Spanish Bubble Bath, like a Spanish language learning game. That was like whatever. It was it was taking advantage of the coronavirus. I forget what it was. It was something like the dangerous events rule or something like that. It was like this really kind of basically it was just basically saying because they thought I was capitalizing on coronavirus and I wasn't, so I appealed it. And that one because it was a third strike that did that one and it turned it back. So they were able to restart the account. However, like basically every single one of my apps was marked as removed. So I had to go back through and republish all the ones that I wanted to keep. And that was just a big task as well. Cause I couldn't remember which ones I'd removed and why. And like some of them I've unpublished over the years. I'm like, okay, what did I remove that one for a specific reason? But anyway, I got it reinstated. And then after that, I was kind of like, ooh, at least for the next 6 months, I don't want to release anything. I just want to be just let it go as is and let those go through. So yeah, I'm back on the Play Store, but and I have been my Play Store apps have been there pretty much except for those few weeks. But yeah, so let's see. Dinesh says Font A's. That's the name of my app. What do you think should do is improve on? Okay, let's have a look. Font A's. Hey. That's the fonts for those of you guys who are actually, nobody knows who that is. All right, so, hey, and everybody, thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the subscriptions. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the good wishes. Thanks for the kind words. Thanks for just being you. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here. Oh, not that one. Okay, so let's go to Play Store. Font A's. Cool. Wow, cool. It's like right under your name. Perfect. Easy to find. Font A's keyboard and fonts, keyboard, and emoji. Ooh, you're damn 24,000 reviews. A million subscriptions? Not bad. I like because I looked at this and I thought, what does it do? What is it? All right, so Font A's. A Fonts Keyboard is a Fonts keyboard app that lets you type in 40 plus letter styles and tons of symbols and emoji. It contains a ton of decoration. You can use the fonts, Instagram chat. Oh, nice. I add this thing on my YouTube channel. It says you are sure you're entering your name correctly. So it's, wow, some really strong reviews on here too. Wow, congratulations, Dinesh. Let's have a look. Dinesh. Yeah, so you're asking me, Dinesh, you're asking me like what could you use to improve on? I don't know. Let's see if you're doing well. It's kind of one of these. Okay, let's take a look at the in-app purchases. Do you have any? Okay, £3.39 per item. Awesome. You're on version 17.8. Let's see. Let's have a look at fonts. Yeah, I even put the wrong one. Fonts AA. Okay. Let's have a look at it on App Annie. Let's go down to the ASO keywords section. I'm curious to see what you're ranking for. Typefaces 30. Okay, so I'm looking. Yeah, it defaults to your local country. So, I mean, United States is. I mean, I'm biased because I'm American and everything, but I think in my experience has always been that the U.S. I've always made the most money from the U.S. market. So okay, so like it's doing really well, but you're saying your stylish symbol spelled incorrectly, typeface, ranking number 76. Dinesh, where is your main user base? Like, if you were to look at your Google Play stats, what's your top country? Actually, we could probably look at here. Cool. People are making really good. How are you getting all these reviews? I guess 1,000,000 plus, but I mean, what's your how are you prompting them? I'd be interested to find this out because this looks like it's really good. Actually, let's go back over here and have a look at the history. App summary. You said you did it last year during lockdown. So the 1.0 was released on January 21st. Oh, so you're only, wait on a second, am I looking at the right one? Oh, I'm looking at iOS. Okay, that makes sense. But you release it on both, which is awesome. All right. Okay, all right. See, okay, now we're looking at some ranks here. Like for AA, you're releasing number 7. For fonts, you're like number 5. That's fronts actually. Hashtag fonts. Font. Wow, font app number 6. Yeah, see, this is more like it. So you're ranking really, really well for these things. So what are you ranking top for? So yeah, so I'm gonna search for this stuff. So fonts X, AA fonts, FontBot, font art. Yeah, that looks really cool. That's really cool. So what's your Dinesh? What's your It's not so popular on iOS. It's mainly on Android. Says Dinesh. Yeah, I mean it's yeah, but like that doesn't mean it can't spread. I mean, it's good that you release it on both. So this is what I want to see app summary because you released it on the 21st of January, but here your first release was last June, which is awesome. Like your versions are like you're just yeah. You don't believe in doing those the minor versions, or do you? Like you only at version 17 you thought, you know what, I'm gonna start using those decimals, which is cool. That's fine. I got some apps that are like really high numbers in terms of the release version. That's awesome. I think no, I think it's I like whatever you're doing. It seems to be doing pretty well. You're getting the eyeballs on it. Like I would be kind of just given that I'd be kind of like wary of making any changes to it. I think if you make any like because what you're getting here is you're getting people's to the application and they're downloading it. If you're going to make any changes, I wouldn't make it to the Play Store page here or anything like that. I would actually what I would do is I would look at the user acquisition report, which is now called the the report that tells you like how many people have actually seen this page versus how many people have downloaded it and everything like that. Because if it's like that conversion, like people looking at this and actually clicking on install, that's going to be like a huge thing. If it's like 10%, then you got loads of potential there, like to actually do more by changing your screenshots and everything. But the fact that you're doing so well at the moment, I think it sounds really good. What do the rest of you guys think? Do you guys have anything? Because like I could say, well, like I could give you my opinion, and dude, Dinesh, we could totally screw this thing up. I could say, oh, you know what? You should change this icon, change these screenshots. You know what? Do something else. But no, whatever you're doing is working. Actually, let's have a look at some other countries, though. Let's look at some other countries. Let's see. Let's have a look at United Kingdom. Which I imagine would be about the same. Yeah, still really good rankings. Let's go with India. Why not? Ooh, AA emojis, AA. Okay, wow. So yeah, you're doing pretty good across the board. And are you okay? So are you? I'm not saying this will do anything, but if I go HL, let's go. What? Let's go. Yes. Okay, so you have it translated into Spanish as well. Nice. Yes, nicely done. Okay, woo, you covered all the bases. Well, what other languages you got here? Let's check Chinese. Although, because of it's probably. Oh, you did it in Chinese too. Wow. No, I think you yeah. I can't. Nicely done. I mean, you don't have any. You only have like a handful of reviews in Chinese, but that's really cool. That's really, really cool, Dinesh. Let's see. Fistel was 7. Yes, it must be an official certification, that's for sure. And yes, hassle. Yeah, I think it is. It depends on what your CV looks like. I'm thinking of getting Angular and .NET cert, even though I have a decent portfolio. Yeah, you know what? It couldn't hurt. It's like that's the one thing where like I would like emphasize it when you go into an interview. Like say, because you got to think when people are hiring you, they don't know, like, especially like if you have somebody hiring you and they're like a developer, then they're gonna like, they might think, okay, so if a developer's hiring you and they're making the decisions, they might think that doesn't mean anything. I've got street smarts. Like it's just like you get the ego involved with like another developer feeling like a bit threatened. But like if it's somebody like a HR person or like a someone who's not a coder, they'll see that and they'll be impressed by it. And when they should, because it's a good thing to have. But I think so. ZX Gamer says, I really like the way you talk. It's the accent, the American accent. It helps out a lot. But thank you very much, ZX Gamer. Thanks. Making English fun. Hey, how's it going? Just popping in to say hi. Hey. I still have my apps, but moved to websites more heavily. I simply had too many apps to manage with all the updates. Yeah, I know. That was the thing when I had hundreds of apps too. It was just like, that's when I started looking into like fast lane and continuous integration. It was just like, it got to be where it's like, I got to this point where I was like, okay, like I'd open up like every single app in a different tab and just go, okay, no, it's not a news app. Save. No, it's not a news app. Save. No, it's not a news app. Save. No, it's not a news app. Oh, where was I? Back to the beginning. Okay, no, it's not a news app. No, it's not a news app. And it was like just like when those kind of like requirements came out, and that was just like the Play Store page. Like when I had to actually update the app, like the Admob libraries. Oh God. But yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, how's the websites working for you? Like, Keko Pasiello. Hey, how's it going, Keko? Says, do you want to see mine? It's called Wish It on iOS. I recently launched it, and it's my first app where I tried to make some ASO. Sorry. Let's see. Have a look. Let's have a look here on App Store. Actually, remove the. Let's go. Sorry, when I turn sideways, I got to suck in. I can't remember to do that. All right. Oh God. Whew. All right. So let me remove this. So yeah, this is another thing. Like if those you guys want to see what the app stores look like, it's HL, which stands for, I don't know, hey, language. But like HL, and you type in the language code, and you can see like the different Play Store listings in different languages. So you can see whether or not, like if I was going to look at, if I was going to look at any application, I did that. I could see if they've actually translated their main thing. And like I said, it could be Google Translate that does it. Like a lot of the stuff is part of the platform. So, but you could see like when I showed you before, like this would be all the reviews in that language, in that target language. So if we were going to look at it as PL, which I think is Polish. So it's not done in Polish, so it's still got the same thing, and it brings in Google Translate, but you can see the Polish, I think PL is Polish, yeah. It brings in the Polish reviews, so you can see this, so that's one of those cool things is like this number is the same for all of them, but the reviews are different for the different ones. So it's not playing around with that. Okay, so what are we looking for? Keko? We're looking for Wish It on iOS. Oh, on iOS, okay. I'm just going to, because I don't have my iPhone plugged in. Is it this one? Let's see, Francisco Pasiello. Okay, cool. So, yes, Keko Francesco. Cool. Birthday card maker. Nice. Data not collected. Cool. This is like, this throws me off this whole, the privacy thing is like, it's, I know that Apple is protecting our privacy, which is great, but it does make the developers look bad with, the way they're phrasing it. Somebody mentioned this before in one of the previous live streams that this whole pop-up saying, ask not to follow, it's all well and good that they do that, but the way they word it is like, it's almost like they don't want you to follow. So and I kind of ever since I heard that I was like, yeah, actually, yeah, they do make it look like our intentions are bad when they're really just like just want to provide a better experience. So create greeting cards, customize colors, a lot of presets, custom images. Cool. View in the Mac App Store. Oh, it's on the Mac App Store too. Let's see. Or is it? Ah, it is. Oh, designed for iPhone. Okay, cool. So, so what kind of stuff did you do for the ASO? I mean, I think the best app for creating greeting cards with minimalistic designs. There are a lot of presets in the app. I think it's just funny when you say there's a lot of, there's a lot. But I mean, it's like I said, if it seems to be working for you, I would just say like if you say how many presets, it would be like whatever it is. If you have like 12, you say like over 10 presets or something like that, or you do that trick where you say it's over whatever the number is that's lower, so it sounds like it could be like hundreds. But let's see, you can add your own custom design, whatever. So that sounds really cool. I think it depends on what your download numbers are like. Again, I kind of one of these things, I don't want to say anything that ruins everything, but one of the things I would like to see is like you're basically you're saying what the app does, but you might want to be able to say some of the like you're basically listing the features, but maybe some of the benefits as well, like too late to send a card or whatever, like some of the things that show loved ones you care and all that kind of stuff, which would be more the benefits than the features of the application. Because if you know what you're looking for, then you know. But and we've got one rating. Okay, so we only got one rating, so yeah, I think it's kind of cool the way it works, but I think that if the screenshots could say a little bit more about what it actually does, because you say custom images, like when I'm looking at this, but the first thing that goes through my mind is, how does it work? Do I email them? Do I send them through WhatsApp? Do I send them through, like, do they get printed? Do they go to the post office? Like, how does it actually work? And that might be something that, is it, because I think for this kind of application, the sharing features would be like the most important part of it, because you think, you're able to create it, but how do you get it to them and everything like that. So, I mean, what do the rest of you guys think? This is like just my opinion. I think we should particularly, let's have a look on App Annie, just in terms of like keywords and stuff like that, and see how it's ranking. So let's see. We released it on July 14th. Okay, so you've had a lot of releases in the last 2 weeks. Let's go back to ASO keywords. Well, that could, like you said, you were trying to ASO stuff. So yeah, I mean, you do have, like, a lot of stuff you do have to release. Okay, so this doesn't look too bad. So I'm still looking at India. Let's go United States. Wish for it, ranking number 3, birthday card, Mother's Day, cards and wishes, birthday stickers, birthday case. So, okay, let's see what did we do? Like over here, we were on anniversary e-cards was like not even existent, and now you jumped up to number, is it 27 here? Customized birthday cards. So okay, now it's customized birthday cards. You got 31, 30, 30. You jumped up to number 10. So that was, that looks really cool. So yeah, whatever you're doing, whatever you changed, actually, I think you could check it over here on App Annie, app summary. It depends. It's one of these things they keep locking things, but like it could have been one of those things that you changed in terms of the description. Cool. All right. I think it looks good, Keko. Sorry, I'm Italian. Dude, that's awesome to be Italian. Don't be sorry for that. Let's see. Making English Fun says, yeah, in 2 weeks, in 2 years off work as of last week, so website are doing okay, and we'll put aside a day a week of time to update one app at a time. That sounds cool. I'm glad it's doing so well. Half of them removed due to random Google reasons. Dude, tell me about it. Wrong ads for kids, etc. Even though Google ads, I stopped all PG and above ads. Google, sorry. I know that's one of the things that just, it does when you have too many apps. And that was one of the things we talked about a lot at the beginning of the channel. Should you just have one app or should you have many apps? And it's like, my whole thing was, hey, if you're only making a little bit for each app, have many apps. That makes sense. And then it just got too much. It's like, Apple started to crack down on it. Like, it would be so much better just to have just one or two, maybe like half a dozen applications, so that when you do have to change those, it's just change those different types of stuff. So totally get that. Let's see. Fistable says, seems like it's pizza time. Have a nice productive week. Thank you very much. And JRG app says, update, I just got the payment. Damn, they took long this time. Was starting to get worried. was it I hope it was a healthy payment, JRG apps, because like mine have gotten to, like, mine was like 300 and I think it was just under 400 pounds, which is like it's getting lower and lower, and I need to sort that out. I mean, it's still the kind of thing. It's nice to see it go in. I'm not complaining at all. Like, I know some of you guys, like, you're just making a lot less than that, but like I was making a lot more than that through Admob before. So let's see, PG, like patriotic garbage. I think it's just the PG ratings of it, like the the US rating system. But parental guidance. Cool. So hey, everybody, thanks for joining live. It sounds like we run out of questions. We run out of questions. You guys don't want to talk about anything else? Cool. That's fine. I got other stuff to do. I want to go. I don't know. Maybe I'll rearrange my sock drawer, or I don't know. Maybe I could start learning how to do those TikTok videos. I was going back to doing that. Anyway, no. Thanks everybody for joining the live stream this week. I'm not sure if we'll do it next week. We might not do it next week. One of the next few Mondays, I'm gonna take my kids somewhere. So like on a Monday. So it might be next Monday or the following Monday, where I think I might have to cancel the live stream. But we will be back on another Friday. So on another Monday. So thanks everybody for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Thanks for joining the live stream. Look out for stuff from us on TikTok. Right now it's just kind of like live stream stuff, but eventually we'll start doing some stuff. And we'll, have a great week. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll talk to you again next time. See you later.